Aziz Ansari accused of sexual assault by Brooklyn photographer. A 23-year-old Brooklyn-based photographer has come forward with allegations of sexual assault against actor and comedian Aziz Ansari. The woman, referred to only under the pseudonym Great to protect her identity, spoke to online publication Babe about the alleged assault, which took place last year in New York. Grace told the publication that she had met Ansari at an after-party for the 2017 Emmy Awards, and the two flirted a little after bonding over their vintage cameras. She said as she was leaving Ansari asked for her number, and she gave it to him. After a week of flirtatious banter over text, Grace said the pair arranged a date, something she would later call the worst night of my life. Their date took place on the 25th of September 2017, and though she admitted she was excited for the air date, her night ended with her crying in a taxi back to her apartment. According to Grace, their dinner at Grand Banks, a restaurant on board a historic wooden schooner on the Hudson River, was cut short by Ansari, 34, despite the fact she had not yet finished her glass of wine. When the waiter came over, he quickly asked for the check and he said, like, "Let's get off this boat." Like, he got the check and then it was bada boom, bada bing, we're out of there. Grace said that they walked back to Ansari's apartment where, once inside, she alleges he began to make sexual advances towards her. Babe wrote, when they walked back in, she complimented his marble countertops. According to Grace, Ansari turned the compliment into an invitation. He said something along the lines of, "How about you hop up and take a seat?" Within moments, he was kissing her. In a second, his hand was on my breast. Then he was undressing her, then he undressed himself. She remembers feeling uncomfortable at how quickly things escalated. When Ansari told her he was going to grab a condom within minutes of their first kiss, Grace voiced her hesitation explicitly. I said something like, "Whoa, let's relax for a second, let's chill." She said he then resumed kissing her, briefly performed oral sex on her, and asked her to do the same thing to him. She did, but not for long. It was really quick. Everything was pretty much touched and done within 10 minutes of hooking up, except for actual sex. Grace went on to describe how Ansari would put his fingers in a V shape before putting them in her mouth and down her throat, and would then insert them into her vagina. She also alleged that he repeatedly placed her hand on his penis, despite her expressing her discomfort with the situation in both verbal and non-verbal ways. I know I was physically giving off cues that I wasn't interested, Grace said. I don't think that was noticed at all, or if it was ignored. She then said she remembers him asking her repeatedly, "Where do you want me to FK you?" I wasn't really even thinking of that, Grace said. I didn't want to be engaged in that with him. But he kept asking, so I said, "Next time." And he goes, "Oh, you mean second date?" And I go, "Oh, yeah, sure." And he goes, "Well, if I poured you another glass of wine now, Would it count as our second date? He then poured her another glass and handed it to her. Grace then said she went to the toilet in order to collect herself, and when she returned she told Ansari, "I don't want to feel forced because then he'll hate you, and I'd rather not hate you." She claims Ansari then apologized to her and said, "It's only fun if we're both having fun." But, she recalled, as soon as she sat down on the sofa with him, Ansari sat back and motioned for her to perform oral sex on him. And I did. "I think I just felt really pressured," she said. "It was literally the most unexpected thing I thought would happen at that moment because I told him I was uncomfortable." Grace alleged that he then led her to a different part of his apartment, saying he had to show her something, a large mirror which he bent her over, rubbing his penis on her buttocks and asked her again, "Where do you want me to FK you?" Grace allegedly told him, "I don't think I'm ready to do this, I really don't think I'm going to do this." Ansari backed off once more, but when they sat down to chill, Grace claims he resumed trying to put his fingers down her throat, attempting to undo her trousers and trying to kiss her. Grace said she decided to leave the apartment and go home, so Ansari called her an Uber. She said, "I cried the whole ride home. At that point I felt violated. That last hour was so out of my hand. I believe that I was taken advantage of by Aziz. I was not listened to and ignored. It was by far the worst experience with a man I've ever had." Grace subsequently replied to a text sent by Ansari after their date and told him she felt uneasy and uncomfortable with his behavior that night. He replied, "I'm so sorry to hear this and clearly, I misread things in the moment and am truly sorry." Aziz Ansari won a Golden Globe last Sunday, 7 January for Best Actor, becoming the first Asian American to win an award at the ceremony. The comedian has a reputation for discussing the nuances of romance and dating in the digital age in his comedy, and even wrote a book, Modern Romance, on the subject. It was a New York Times bestseller. His show, Master of the Nun, has been praised for its tackling of societal issues such as racism and sexual harassment. As Babe notes, in one particular episode of the Netflix series, a macho TV chef called Chef Jeff offers Ansari's character Dev a career opportunity, before being accused by a number of women of sexually inappropriate behavior. Discussing the storyline with Vulture, Ansari said, "So it was like, okay, what if this is one of those types of guys and we just get the audience to love him? And then pull the rug out from under them at the end and reveal that he's actually not a good dude?" Aziz has not publicly addressed the claims, and Metro.co.uk have contacted reps for Aziz Ansari for comment.